Good day everyone. So in this video, I will discuss to you about the function, one-to-one function, and then the inverse of a function. Okay, so before that, let me first introduce to you the learning objective. So yung learning objective natin is at the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to determine the inverse of a one-to-one function. Okay, so let's start. So what is a one-to-one function? A function is one-to-one if no two ordered pairs in the function have the same second component and different first component. So a function f is said to be a one-to-one if and only if whenever a and b are two numbers in the domain of f and a should not be equal to b, then f sub a is not equal to f sub b. In other words, in one-to-one function, every two distinct numbers in the domain correspond to two distinct values of the function. Okay, so these are the example of a one-to-one function. Okay, so we have here, the first one is a one-to-one function because yung A correspond to 4, B correspond to 2, C correspond to 1, and D correspond to 5. So, ibig sabihin that they have different domain and then different range. Okay, and this one, the second one, is not a one-to-one because B and C have the same element of B, or B is correspond to 2 and at the same time C is correspond to 2. So therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. Okay, and graphically, you could determine whether a function is a one-to-one using a horizontal asymptote, or horizontal line test. So, if function is a one-to-one if and only if every horizontal line intersect the graph of the function in at most one point. Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-draw daw tayo dito ng horizontal line, mag-i-intersect lang siya sa graph at least one point lang. So, say for instance, the first graph is a one-to-one function. Why? Kasi ito yung tinatawag nating horizontal line test. So, if we draw some horizontal line test here, or horizontal lines, yung intersection lang niya sa graph is only one intersections. Okay, so therefore, this graph is a one-to-one function. And look at this, the second one. This is not, we cannot consider this as a one-to-one function because if we draw a horizontal line here, so dito sa first one, isang point lang yung nag-intersect. But, the other parts of the graph, pag nag-draw tayo dito ng horizontal line, magi-intersect siya how many points? So, there are 4 intersections. So, therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. Okay? So, tandaan that kapag graph yung given to determine if the function is a one-to-one, pag nag-draw tayo ng horizontal line, at least one lang yung magiging intersection niya sa graph. Okay. Next, what is an inverse function? Okay. So, an inverse function, if there is a function consisting of ordered pairs x, y, then there is a relation called the inverse of f. So, whose elements are the ordered pairs y, x. So, we just simply interchange x and y, the ordered pair x, y. So, naging yung inverse niya, we have yx. If f is a one-to-one with domain and range, then the inverse of f is called the inverse of function of f, denoted by with the domain and range defined by f raised to negative 1 of y is equal to x, if and only if f of x is equal to y for any y in B. So let's have an example. So the first one, hahanapin natin yung inverse ng set of ordered pairs. So, given the set of ordered pairs, let us find the inverse of this. So, we just interchange the value of x and y, or the ordered pair, or the coordinate x and y. So, we have here x. This one, the first element are what we call the x values, or the x coordinate. And then, we have the second element, which is our y coordinate. Okay. So, we have the inverse 2, 1. So, we have here the first one is 1, 2. Then, the inverse of that is 2, 1. 3, 4. We have 4, 3. 5, negative 6. So, negative 6 and 5. Negative 1. And we have negative 1 and negative 2. So, we have negative 2 and negative 1. Another example, find the inverse of f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, so in determining the inverse of this, we follow the steps to find the inverse of a given function from its equation. So the first one, write the function in the form y is equal to f of x. Okay, so we're going to write the function in this form. Okay, so kumbaga yung f of x, papalitan natin siya ng y. Number 2, interchange the x and y variables. So, pagpapalitin lang natin yung x and y variables. And number 3, solve for y in terms of x. So, let us solve this given. So, find the inverse of f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. So, f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. So, this is our given function. Then, we are going to write the function. So, papalitan natin yung f of x as y. So, y is equal to 2x plus 3. Then, second step, interchange the x and y variables. So, yung y dito, we interchange it or we change it to x and then we have x to y. And solve for y in terms of x. So, solve for y in terms of x. So, we need to transpose positive 3 to the other side. So, x minus 3 is equal to 2y. Then, let us solve for y. So, divide both sides by 2. So, divide both sides by 2. So, magka-cancel to. Therefore, we have y or x minus 3 over 2 is equal to y. So, this is now the inverse of 2x plus 3. So, the inverse of f of x is equal to 2x plus 3 is, we write this as f raised to negative 1 of x is equal to x minus 3 over 2. Another example, find the inverse of f of x is equal to 4x minus 3 over 5. Okay? So, f of x, we have the given, and write the function in the form y is equal to f of x. So, we have to change f of x as one variable y. Then, interchange, papalitan, yung x as y and then yung y as x. So, we have here x is equal to 4y minus 3. Then, solve for y in terms of x. So, we cross-multiply 5 times x. So, we have here 5x. Then, ito, understood to na may 1 dito. So, kaya, if we multiply 1 times 4y minus 3, so we have 4y minus 3. Then, we are going to transpose negative 3 to the other side. So, 5x plus 3 is equal to 4y. Then, divide both sides by 4 to solve for y. So, divide both sides by 4. So, we have here 5x plus 3 over 4 is equal to y. Therefore, the inverse of f of x is equal to 4x minus 3 over 5 is f of negative 1 of x is equal to 5x plus 3 over 4. So, this is how are we going to find the inverse of the given function. So, first, write the function in the form y is equal to f of x. Then, interchange the x and y variables and solve for y in terms of x. Thank you and God bless.